know who that is, but I guess it doesn't matter. See, her name is, I'm sorry, Stephanie. I thought it was Stephanie, but So are these like?
Stephanie, can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can.
We get the noise.
Perfect. Perfect, thank you.
All right. We're hoping that we are joined here in a few minutes by Mr. Finley. I just want to say delay. Finley.
I was going to say Delaney.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I always do
I could be
that.
wrong. I just know from,
Yeah. Well, I had such a fun time with names anyway. So we do have a quorum, but we are hoping to have be joined by Mr. Finley. So at this time, we'll have a little roll call. Ms. City Clerk, if you do that for us.
Chair Hart.
Here.
We have Amy Rubio absent. Lindsay Kerfman. Here, right?
Yeah.
Peggy Beeler. Here. Tom Denley not here yet. Okay, so you know Amy's not gonna be here.
Yeah, we did know that. Mhm.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm gonna switch the meeting over to my phone, because it doesn't sound like it's too loud on my speaker.
okay. So it's. And we do know that Ms. Lindsay has to take off here, go to work and do, so I think we want to talk about the first on our agenda anyway. Few of our proposals for inside marketing tourism project. So we have, last year, we approved $19,800. And this year, the 2023 amount is $95,532 and 5 cents. So if I recall, this was the full Monty. If we took the 95,532, which would have given us everything we ever dreamed of, and a yellow brick road as well. So, if I can, I'm trying to remember from our last conversation, we'd asked for, do we have some, any kind of minutes or notes on that, or what we were asking for from the last time, Jackie?
We wanted them to for sure do our website. And you guys wanted the travel guide. And then other than that, we didn't say anything else.
Okay,
We did.
travel guide, and wanted them to do our website,
Yeah.
that's to come to the sun.
I do have a question though first.
Okay, here, this, we can, just like, so make sure we know. So those are the two things we requested.
Yes.
Now, this picture seems like it's a lot more,
Well, I guess the ones that we wanted were the website and then the travel brochure. And then I think you guys may have said, just give us what everything would be,
okay.
just so we have things to pick and choose from.
Yeah.
Okay, so Stephanie put this together, and this is, Stephanie, excuse me, this is everything, right? Can you hear me?
Yeah, well, she can hear us, but I can't hear her. I think it's an issue.
Can you hear me now? Sorry.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah,
Did you want me to start at the top and go through each one just to explain what they are?
Well, just what, maybe just a second, Lindsay, did you have a question you wanted to add to that first?
Yeah,
Okay,
so I wanted to know what the membership cost, say if we just got like domain and hosting, or just got the minimal, like what would membership cost?
$358 is all.
Okay.
Yeah, so
And then as far as running the website, I see the domain and hosting, but then, you know, as far as all the work that Daniel does,
mhm.
everything, so where is the cost of that part?
That's the
included
marketing
in?
management fee down closer to the bottom of the 30,000. And of course, that number will be adjusted depending on, you know, whatever you guys vote on.
Okay,
Yeah, because the less we do, you know, that number won't, it won't go down, you know, too much though, because the website part of it, and then the creation of the flyers and the information for the events and stuff like that Daniel has been doing for you, it's going to be wrapped up in that too. So like stuff for the farm implement parade, I think he created some flyers for you and stuff like that. So
Okay,
That, yep, those are my
is that,
questions.
did you have any other questions for her too, Peggy?
Yes.
Okay. So Stephanie, if you would, just kind of
Sure.
run us through this role.
Sure thing. So the very first thing is the Datafy digital advertising and retargeting. So Datafy is a company that Yakima Valley Tourism subscribed to help us get a better understanding of who our customers are and how best to market to them. So what Datafy does is it takes, it casts a net over whatever region that we ask it to, and it will read people's cell phones who have their location enabled, and it'll tell us then where they're from, what their buying or their spending habit is. And then it also is able to track, like, how do you put it? It's people that are like the visitor that comes here. It's somehow able to figure out from that same area who has similar interest to that traveler, and then we can market to them additionally. And it should net about 1.2 million impressions, and that okay, oh, it's called like audiences. There it is. So the retargeting past event attendees and then like audiences. So what it does is when say, since we're all from the same area, and say Lindsay and I both like beer, and so then if Lindsay and I go do something together, it's going to figure it out that, okay, Stephanie's already been here and now they're doing something in their own hometown that they like to do. So then Datafy is going to be able to reach out to Lindsay and be like, hey, you want to come to Sunnyside, look at all this great stuff that it has to offer. And so the 11,000 is going to give us the 6-month advertising campaign with them. And they have an international reach. So it's a pretty good program to look into. And then after that, once you figure out who your traveler is and where they're coming from, it's not like it's something you have to continue to do unless you want to, keep doing it to figure out where other people are, cast a wider net, that kind of a thing. The $300, the domains and the hosting fees, that's something that is a pass through to you guys as far as maintaining the website and the hosting fees and all of that. Membership is waived with a large marketing contract. The next items here, travel and life, the photography, updated photo libraries, and again, whichever photographer you guys want, SIT magazine, and then the social media advertising. So $500 for Cinco, Summer Ale, and the Lighted Parade. And then it gets into the Sunnyside Travel Guide, so distribution, with the breakdown below as far as Seattle, Portland, and Boise. And then your guys' travel guide print and delivery, so Abbott's prints it. And then the printing, if you wanted to do the 40,000 again, the printing is going to be just shy of $11,000, and then the other 4 is shipping it to Seattle, Portland, and Boise. It's not going to be that much, but I shot high just because of all, everything going up. So I did a 25% increase just to have that safety net, and then if it doesn't amount to that much, well, then there's a surplus where that's concerned. The video production, so the re-editing of the Sunnyside video, and then creating shorter clips for advertising purposes. Sunnyside, already in our map, we paid the county for the GIS for the mapping of the Sunnyside area. So we've got that on there. So as a featured community, that's already there. But then if you guys wanted to do any advertising on that map with any kind of attributes is similar to what Union Gap has, you could do that. And then the 2-page advertorial in Yakima Valley's travel guide. So that's where that 60,000 amounts to. Then there's the Sunnyside travel guide breakdown, the distribution of all of that to be in those markets. So that'll be 35,000, and then Abbott's will deliver the remaining 5,000 to you guys for your purposes. Marketing management of the $30,000. So that's to cover the costs and efforts of the different salespeople the marketing manager, the graphics and web developer, myself, our front desk person who scours websites and information to update your guys' events on the Sunnyside page. And then, but definitely managing the website. That's good. The bulk of that is Daniel's time. And then any optional reserves for any media buys, just something that we like to do on our side of things. A lot of vendors that we work with for print advertising, a lot of times they'll have what's called remnant buys. So say they're getting close to their print deadline for something and they're not right where they need to be for sales, they'll discount rates in different publications. And that's where that 5,000 is, just in case if there's something that's come up just before, especially the signature events, that Jennifer might be able to take advantage of. So that's the bulk of the night, or the total of the $95,000 that we're proposing for managing your marketing and advertising.
Thank you so much. I know this was a heck of a lot of work putting this together alone, so appreciate it very much. We definitely recognize the value for services that you guys provide.
Thank you.
Jackie, how much is left in our budget?
This kind of replaces the chamber costs. We used to spend this money, we used to direct it at the chamber. Now they've become our.
Also kind of our advertising.
That's
That's
it.
what the chamber is.
Yeah, that's it.
Even though chambers are really for business as opposed to tourism.
Tourism. She did both.
So far, you've already set aside $101,500 that you've already
Committed to.
committed to. And then let me look at the budget, see what the numbers were.
Is Stephanie still on?
Yes, she's still on. She can still see us. I'm just over here
Oh, I understand.
and driving. Let's see.
So just looking at that, is there anything that stands out to anybody?
A couple of things right off the bat. You guys have been talking about photography.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to nitpick this budget, make it work for it. Did you want to hire your own photographer?
We always do.
Okay, so
We
we
always
can
do.
drop that
So does
cost right away.
So we can take that out, right?
Take that one out.
There's
Tell me what else you think.
a lot I think we can do.
Okay, good.
Because like the Northwest Travel and Life magazine, the print, I mean, that's a big expense that for now, we did, because Amy and I both go out and we reach out to these, and, you know,
Hello.
it might cost the organization
There he is.
money, but.
Do we have another set?
Yeah, there should be.
That's one of the few things that actually gets out beyond.
Take a, is that the
Here's
one we're
me,
looking
just it's the one we're looking at right now. Good morning.
And then do you have those agendas in front of
They
you?
want
or
you to
we-
sit down
This is
here
just
for reading
mine.
on
Yeah,
television.
so you can.
So, there was more, I mean, I just have one.
Wonder where they went.
I put on the other one, I promise.
And that feeling, but you.
Do you have more of the agenda under your class, maybe?
There, I do. Agenda, third,
And the draft policy.
In the draft policy. Right now,
Just disregard the first page. It's a copy of another sheet.
we're just looking over the,
can't get rid of. Out of this 95,000 for the, Yakima.
Oh, they actually gave us something.
They did an incredible job.
they broke it down into many divisions
We're
here for
taking out photography already because we had to use our own photographer. Talking about now taking out the Northwest Travel and Life magazine, it is expensive. And then just to be on the opposite side, so we explore everything. Not that that's my immediate impression, but that's one of the few things we actually do that gets out of the area, where the Yakima Valley Travel Guide more or less stays in the area.
Yakima Valley
But it
Travel
is a
Guide, the Yakima Valley Travel Guide doesn't primarily stay in the area. 80,
Oh, where does it?
yeah, the Yakima Valley Travel Guide, so the big print publication that we do, we go to Seattle, Spokane, Portland, down into Boise and Salem, Pendleton, Bend. We do 80,000 copies outside of the area. And then the other 20 come to us for media packets, information request fulfillments, and any visitors that happen to stop by any of the visitor points in the area that hadn't gotten a travel guide yet. If they hit RBIC, if they go to the Teapot Dome in Zilla, if they stop off anywhere in Sunnyside to pick up something, and then Prosser's another area that also through the chamber down there, that is their tourism marketing arm. Yeah, so.
And so if our budget was really tight, then we could drop the Northwest Travel and Magazine but still be reaching people outside of the area.
Via the Yakima Valley Travel Guide. And then your guys' travel guide also goes to 3 key points too in the Seattle, Portland, and Boise areas. So there is that. The thing with the like Northwest Travel and the SIP magazine, those readers, it's targeted specifically to their readers and their subscribers. So the first one for the $23.95, that's the Travel and Life magazine, the digital package. So that's email, display ads, and social media for Cinco de Mayo. So that would be a good one to do if you wanted to do that digital package. But then the print, that 10,000 includes 4 different issues. And so it'd be March, April, and then May, June, September, October, November, December. So each 4 issues will have its own specific advertisement. And, say for instance, March and April, that one can be focused on coming to Sunnyside with, a focus on Cinco. And then May and June, same thing leading up to something, September, October, leading up to, so you could think about that as well. And then for the SIP magazine, for their featured event newsletter with the 21,000 impressions, that's $750. And that one would be geared towards the Summer Ale Fest. And then the SIP magazine print advertisement of 40,000 in circulation is $1,600. It's going to be 2 issues at $775. And that again is another half-page ad. And it's their best of issue. And so then again, that's reaching their people specifically saying this is Sunnyside and, come and visit us. So it's reaching additional people that might not have a copy of either of our travel guides in their hands or know how even to get one. But once they see the ad in one of those 2 publications or in the digital advertising, then the call to action, check the website, request a travel guide. And then that's when the fulfillment comes in, with your travel guide and our travel guide.
Okay, well, it looks like we have some major businesses to do. Does anybody feel we need to be online with us or
Do we have any other
questions or anything?
Any other questions that we wanted to
Ask her.
Tom, have you?
I'm just swallowing this whole, Stephanie. Give me a minute.
Okay.
Sure thing.
It's 3 pieces there, so we can,
See that.
yeah.
Sorry, I didn't get to see what's left in our budget.
So we didn't set a budget, so
Oh,
kind of
I see.
open. So right now you've already committed $101,500. Our budget, so we started with 202. We received 110 this year so far as of right now since August or July. So you should be fine. Sitting in there 313 since July.
I have a question.
Okay.
Marketing management. That's a $30,000 figure. Is this for a year of them doing the website?
That's everything.
Everything.
Media relations, graphic design, website maintenance. Everything as far as the website.
Yeah.
And creation.
And
Co-creation of,
Yeah, content creation, development,
yeah, that goes out.
That's a definite one we want to keep.
domain hosting. So,
Okay.
I kind of, so as far as, so if we did the Northwest Travel and Life magazine, if that's something that you guys wanted to keep, I just don't know about the one, I feel like September and October could be the advertisement for, the parade, because November and December is kind of late already. So I feel like we could knock out,
Yes, I
November and December.
I think we could,
Um,
that's one way to save money for us right now. And the there's some things here that are great, like if we do the digital package, it's so much more than doing a print. And
the bigger thing on that too is that more people are doing digital looking.
absolutely. So, I think we can definitely reduce the, cost for that. So again, any more questions for Ms. Stephanie before we start?
Well, really
looking
quick,
at
so for the Northwest Travel and Life magazine for the print, there's 30,000 circulation per issue, and then it's also offered digitally, and there's 450,000 impressions. And the package that we're proposing, the 4 issues at the 25-35, if you want to strike out one issue, it might affect that rate. So that 25-35 per issue might go up, because you know how that works, you know, the
Yeah.
more you buy, yeah. So that figure may go up a little bit. We'd have to go back to Northwest Travel and figure that out with them if you wanted to strike out November, December.
Got it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's some other kinds of adjustments that might be happening in that direction as
If
well.
you reduce, then they have to increase their costs. Anything else for Ms. Stephanie?
Lindsay, you got any more?
No other questions.
Other questions? Tom?
Thank you again.
I don't,
You're
hang
very
on
welcome.
I don't think, you probably have to stay, because if you start taking things off, that way she knows what.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll say,
Do you want to do that with her or let her know what we decide later?
Well, I think it makes it a bit of a, what do you call it? Adjustment to the, make some configurations, but I don't know, can we, go ahead and discuss it and then,
Yeah, you can discuss it.
And
You
then
can
come-
even take action, but you just won't know her final number. She
Right.
has to adjust it.
Yeah, but she can't get that information on the spot either,
Right.
so.
But she still has to stay on the line.
Yeah.
That way
Okay.
she knows what direction to go.
okay.
we'll just leave it. So we're just gonna discuss
Just
for a
leave it
while,
up to you.
Stephanie.
So don't-
Yeah.
She knows.
Because we need to be able to discuss this too.
Be open and honest, because budgets are tight.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, it would be everything.
We take the whole enchilada.
Absolutely.
We may not be,
Okay, so
Okay.
photography's out.
we decided that, have we?
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, no, but it sounded like it.
Let's run it without the photography.
Yeah.
Okay, so then,
And then it sounds like,
do you want to, we, obviously, it still shouldn't change the membership, because it's still gonna be a package.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't worry about that.
No, yeah, that was just my, I just wanna make sure that we knew it in case.
Yeah, knew the number.
and,
Okay, so, do we wanna talk a little bit about this Northwest Travel Life magazine, digital and print? Do we wanna just do digital, or do we wanna do both? Because if we do both, it looks like it's about, 12,000,
195.
yeah.
Can I ask what is difference that data digital advertising and targeting?
Oh, right.
If I'm reading this correctly, they're gonna find people that get information to an ad.
With your phone,
Here,
has
let's,
the GPS locator on, they're gonna find you in the area, and they're gonna target you. This is really
That's
good.
scary.
Yes, it's scary, but it is the world we live in. So to say that this is effective is an understatement.
that really is,
People may feel a little bit
well,
rash if they.
They're doing it anyway.
That
Well, look,
is
here's-
what it is.
it's already happening.
Yeah.
If you go someplace and you mark down a review there, somewhere, this is how they do it. They figure out, you've reviewed, you went to, let's say you went to Teapot Dome in Zilla, and then you stopped off at a winery. You've clicked on the Teapot Dome, you click on a winery, and then they say, oh, you like that? Well, maybe you'll like this over here too. So you have likes already out there when you're looking around. So they just automatically collect all this information, suggest other things to
Isn't
you.
it a little more than that? Isn't it?
If I may, it's actually a little bit
That
more
is still-
sinister than that. It just follows your
more
phone.
Yeah, I understand that, Stephanie, but for my bonehead, that's how, okay,
What does it include?
go ahead.
So what it includes is actually, if you have your location services enabled on your phone, it pretty much just follows you wherever you go. And then if you make any purchases with your debit card or your credit card, it figures that out. Where do you like to get gas? Where do you like to get your beer? Where do you like to go do your wine tasting, eat dinner?
Right.
And then the thing with the like audiences, what it does is, so say I'm in Sunnyside and I'm doing stuff, I go back to where I live. And so I get around Lindsay. Well, if Lindsay and I go somewhere and it figures out that Lindsay likes beer tasting or wine tasting too, then it's going to start to target her and say, well, if you like, going to these places in your own area, how about you come to Sunnyside? And it'll start to target to her as well.
So what 6 months are we talking about?
I think we can choose whatever
Where?
6 months we want. We could probably do, like March to September or April to October, something like that. Where we track and we manage, the audiences, and then we start doing targeted advertising, social media, and otherwise towards those people.
Do you choose what gets fed to them, or is this something that's artificial intelligence grabbing information in the area and feeding it to them randomly?
It's stuff that we create. So we're launching a huge digital campaign that so Yakima Valley Tourism actually subscribes to this. And because of the information we gathered leading up to now, we are launching a huge digital campaign to target. So we have our audiences, of course, the beer and the wine, fresh produce and, harvest and things like that, with then, the food and the fun that follows up with that. So the food and the fun restaurants, and then the cultural centers and the other attractions around the valley.
Do they need to be members to be a part of your digital campaign?
No, Datafy doesn't know who our members are. It's just tracking where the visitor goes, but it tells us. So if, say, Cote Bonneville is a huge attraction, they're not a member, but I can also say, hey, we know through Datafy that there's a lot of people that are coming to Cote Bonneville. Would you guys like to be a member? So then we can specifically market your establishment. But as a Sunnyside as a destination, definitely, which includes all your guys' attributes and amenities.
So let me make sure I completely understand this, because there's two sides to this. Sounds like they're collecting information on people, they're profiling people as they come to the area.
Yep.
But then when they profile, you have the opportunity to put information in front of them, and
Yep.
you decide the content to put in front of them, correct?
Yes. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the destination marketing to them, not specific businesses or anything like that, but just the type of travel. So the beer and wine and the farm fresh fun, those kinds of things. And we're going to market the destination. So on our side of it for Yakima Valley Tourism, we'll do the whole destination. And then for Sunnyside, it would be Sunnyside as a destination, not specific events and not specific amenities within Sunnyside, like Cote Bonneville, Cote d'In, or Varietal, or things like that. It's going to be the entire destination. Just get them here, and then they can figure out what they want to do when they get there, type thing. And what we're hoping
And
that go ahead.
When you market the destination, you're marketing everybody. You're not just marketing people who are members of Yakima Valley Tourism.
Nope. We're hoping that by default they'll go, but because once they request a travel guide or they go to our website for more information, that's the increased exposure for the members. But no, it's not member driven.
Stephanie, it's
Yes,
happening anyway. You pay for it or not. We just
Yep.
will have access.
Yep.
That's
It's just
the-
that we're going to have access and we're going to know, where are they from? Like that already, Datafy has told us as a whole for destination marketing that Michigan and Texas are good states for us to be targeting. So we're going to do some modified drops next year to Texas locations where we know that they've been Houston, I think San Antonio, Austin. So we're going to do drop sites of our own travel cases of travel guides to visitor points in those areas. If there are travelers that are coming from those areas, let's see if we can get more of them.
What were those two areas that you said?
Michigan and
Michigan and Texas like it.
we get
Yep.
a ton of Texans in the park, a ton of Texans.
Yep.
So-
that's what the data is showing us too. And so by having that
How
information,
far-
now we know where to market to.
Yeah.
Yep.
How long after somebody comes into the area do you continue to put information in front of them? And I'm just gonna give you an example. Tuesday, I show up and I go to Cote Farmville. Okay? Are you gonna continue to send me information on Wednesday and Thursday, or is it just Tuesday, just as long as I'm in the area?
The digital campaign that we're doing for Yakima Valley Tourism, I imagine would be, I would think for the year. I didn't actually specifically ask Jennifer how long that digital campaign would go for, but I would imagine that we will target specific areas and people as long as we are seeing that ROI. I don't think we would just
So you-
stop.
Area, you would send me feeds. So if I'm in Portland the next day, I might still get a feed that says Sunnyside, this, that, and the other thing. I guess all I'm trying to do, I'm just trying to frame exactly what this consists of.
Yeah, I think that like if you're thinking about like Facebook, I would think you would still continue to see ads for something until you turn it off. I think you have that option on Facebook to stop seeing an ad for something. But at the same time, it's going to mimic, Datafy can mimic like audiences. So anybody on my Facebook feed, I would imagine anybody that has similar interests to mine, it would also target those people, and anyone else that has the same interest based on their habits on their phone and their purchasing.
And how big a diameter around Sunnyside will people get this information? Is it people who are in Yakima? Is it people who are in Ellensburg? Is it just people who are in Sunnyside?
It's anybody that, what it does is it's anybody that has that interest. So we would, if we know that people are going to like the beer and the wine, so, and the produce, then we're going to target them and just keep targeting them, I guess, until they stop asking for the information or stop showing interest in the information. And it could be anybody from inside the area, but we're going to target the people that are outside the area. So loosely, the definition of a tourism is somebody that's 50 miles, distance from you. And I say that loosely because everybody has their own interpretation, but we model our activities on that. But Jennifer can set the parameters with Datafy to go 75, 100. So she can target people, thereby generating an overnight stay.
Yeah, because I guess and again, I'm ignorant, okay? Give me
Sure.
that grace to understand if I'm GPS located in Sunnyside area, it's going to start targeting me. But you're saying also if I have affinities for the things that Sunnyside has, if I like wine, it's going to target me as well.
Yeah.
So I don't have to be in the Sunnyside area to
No,
be targeted.
no, but your address, your home address has to be, we would set it to be, 75, 100 or 250 miles away. So then that way we are, so that's the first thing. You know how you can set criteria to do something. So we'd set the criteria to be somebody with these buying habits and whatnot to be, 100 miles away, 250 miles away. So then, because the first idea is to generate an overnight stay, right? We want to regenerate these funds that pay for the marketing. So by regenerating lodging tax through getting people to come here that are greater than 100 miles or 150 miles, whatever the parameter is going to be, we can set that. So then that way we know we're not getting anybody that lives in Yakima. We're not wasting money on people that live in Prosser, that kind of a thing. We definitely don't want anybody within a day's drive because they're going to just come here, do their thing and then go back. We want them to stay the night.
And you're also telling me that this is not just impulse buying. Somebody is in the area, bing, they show up on your radar screen, you start feeding them information and expecting them to buy a hotel room because they've typically made their plans for the evening already. This is something where they come into the area or they show a preference for what we have, and you continue to, pardon my French, hound them with information until they succumb.
I
Correct?
do this. I use Facebook, and I start with a broad parameter of people who like camping. And then I can narrow that field down to, for example, to shop at Camping World frequently. And I can narrow that further down to somebody who bought a portable fire pit at Camping World because odds are they are going to be camping. So this is has been in place now for a while, and we're using it even if we don't know we're using it. But literally, that's how targeted a campaign like this can get.
Okay. I just wanted to understand, because this is $11,000, this is a lot of money.
Mhm.
But now, when you think of what that's doing, it's scary.
Well, Big Brother's watching.
That's why I call it a
Right.
little bit of a sinister thing, because it's like, ooh, we're being watched.
Okay,
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 thank you.
okay, so
Mhm.
moving along here. So what are we thinking about that? That sounds like a
I
buy.
think you should hang on to that and see what it does.
Yeah, I
Because
think that one's an okay.
nasty as it is.
Yeah, I think that's an okay. So we're moving along here. We got domain hosting. I think, are we still wanting to have, Yakima, do our domain hosting? Now, Jackie, I'd refer to you on this because we had talked about doing that, some of that domain stuff within. Is that right?
Yes, I would like for them to still do the website. Again, it's not for sure that I'll get
Right,
help next year or not.
right.
Um,
We're looking at the coming year, yeah.
yeah, so I'm not sure, but I would like for them to
Okay,
continue
and I
it.
think that, at least to monitor it for at least another year. So, are we okay on that one then? Okay,
Yeah, that domain and the hosting fee. So the domain, the $300, and the hosting fees. So when you have a website, you actually pay to have ownership of the domain. So cometothesun.com is owned by City of Sunnyside. And then the hosting fee, there's a company you have to pay to host the website. So those are passed through straight to you guys to keep ownership of those. Of
Okay.
Come to the Sun.
all right. And then the membership we already talked about. So then we come to this, one on the Northwest Travel and Life Magazine digital package and the actual print package. And that's the one we said was somewhere in the neighborhood of, what'd we say?
$12,000.
Yeah, 12,000.
And,
So,
so- and
that-
for Tom's edification, so the digital package is going to be a digital campaign with email and display ads and social media for Cinco de Mayo. And then the Northwest Travel and Life Magazine print. So that's actually the print publication in 4 issues. So there's 30,000 copies or circulated per issue. So you take that 30 times the 4, and then each issue goes up on their website, and each issue is about 450,000 impressions.
So tell me about the traffic of your Northwest Travel and Life subscribers.
I'm sorry, can you speak up just what was your
You know what the
question?
demographic of the Northwest Travel and Life subscriber is?
Yes, so that publication targets the people that fit the demographic of the Yakima Valley, which are travelers who are then it used to be 35, now it's down to 27-year-olds up to 60 something. So anybody in their 20s up into their 60s are people who have income greater than, I think, $75,000 or $100,000 a year. And those people who have, so they've got, and that number could have increased too, but people who have money that like to travel and immerse themselves in the different areas within the Northwest.
Okay, so then I'm going to ask the hard, does that demographic jive with Cinco de Mayo?
No,
Because if it doesn't, there's no reason to spend the money on the digital campaign. I'm
Not
not
yet.
saying don't spend the money. Yeah, I think Peggy's right. Not yet. We need to change Cinco de Mayo to make it attractive to people of all.
and you can improve our downtown, get all our
yeah, that's.
ducks in a row before we spend this kind of money, because if we bring them here and give them the bad impression, they're never coming back.
Yeah.
Don't say that. You're right. You're absolutely right.
So, what are we thinking
I
here?
think we can remove
Say
it.
straight that.
So we can get rid of the 2,395.
Okay.
But keep your, if travel print campaign, does that have a digital aspect to it, or is that just print?
For the magazine, it's print and digital. So each issue is uploaded with a link on their website.
So
So
that's
people
a
can
foreign
visit.
digital.
Digital.
Yeah, so
Because
people
they
who
put
are
it
more
on the-
visual can access the online version of that issue. And then there are 30,000 people that subscribe to the magazine that it'll be mailed to. Each
There's
issue.
the online version,
Say that again.
does the online version have live links to anybody who's like,
I would imagine
what's the
so.
funny
Since our travel guide does, I would imagine theirs has the technology too.
And so when you guys said take off November and December, right?
Well, I'm
Well,
wondering if we're gonna take Cinco de Mayo off of that, digital promotion, could we not switch it with, say, the lighted implement parade, seeing how that really is? I mean, I don't know.
I don't think I'd take off, I think I'd leave all 4 seasons here.
Okay,
If you're-
no, yeah, on the magazine part, yes.
But she's saying there's a digital component to that too.
So we wouldn't need to have the other one.
Yeah, the other
Yeah.
one's a digital booth.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
that sounds like a boost, okay.
So we've done this in the past, Stephanie, the Northwest Travel and Life. Do you have any examples of what our ads did? Like, yeah,
Look
what
like?
they look like or what you,
But what they look like.
yeah.
I don't have copies of
Yeah.
what they did look like, but before the issue is published though, whatever Jennifer and Daniel create, that will go to you guys for approval before, but that's where the response, if, once we send something to you guys, respond right away to let us know if there's any changes to it. And for each one, it is going to be seasonal in nature, because in March and April, what is there coming up? And then May and June, what else is coming up and that kind of a thing. But it's that is going to be destination focused though. So Sunnyside as a destination, whereas the digital package was going to be for Cinco, or it could be the lighted where it would be for a specific event. But the print version is going to be the whole, the destination as a whole, and it's going to drive everybody to come to thesun.com or to request a travel guide.
Oh, okay. So like September, October wouldn't have anything to do with the parade. It would just be to Sunnyside.
Well, no,
Or-
you could change the ad so
Mhm.
that it was parade specific in the September, October issue.
Coming
It still
up,
has all the Sunnyside
you know.
generic information
Mhm.
too.
and then it would be the bigger splash if we in November. But having it in September would actually encourage people to make that plan to come.
Yeah, that's
But
what,
remember, these are higher end.
Yeah, that's what we want them.
yeah.
We want them to spend their money.
Okay, well, yeah, and I was just curious if you knew where they were placed in the magazine or anything, because I know I saw one, but I can't remember what we paid for those, but it was, the one that I saw for Sunnyside, it was like in the back of the magazine and everything, so I just didn't know if we had any choice in that or if anything we could know about beforehand.
Placement in the magazine.
Placement
I'm
in
not-
the magazine.
I'm not, well, of course, if you want to choose your placement, they'll charge you for it, but yeah, it's possible to choose your placement.
There's a-
You just have to pay a premium price for it.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I would think that depending on, the issue, as far as the flow of it, where is it gonna go kind of a thing, that it's just gonna be sporadic, I'm sure. Unless you pay for the premium spot, which would be, usually premium spots are inside covers, back cover, next to the table of contents. Yeah, and those are gonna come in a premium.
And then sometimes in the very center.
In the fold, yeah.
in the front.
Stephanie, is this, part of another campaign that Yakima Valley Tourism, or would this be juxtaposed to an ad campaign that Yakima Valley Tourism is doing at the same time with Northwest Travel and Life?
I do not know that, but I could ask Jennifer. She's on another, she would have been here with us today, but she had a conflict. She had a 9 o'clock as well. But I could ask her if it's going to complement anything that we're doing.
Yeah, because if you were, it would make sense for it to all be together.
Yeah,
People got to that, all the aids, top issue
okay.
together.
Yep. I can ask her about that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so moving, what are we thinking there? To stick to the magazine?
I think if it's got a digital component that has live links, I think we should.
I think we should
Do
stick
the
with that.
digital
Yeah.
and not do the print, which would
No.
give us,
No,
No,
the other way around.
do the magazine
oh,
and not do the digital,
okay,
because it's already gonna be online, so why duplicate?
okay,
Yeah, the digital was just a boost for Cinco de Mayo.
okay.
Right.
And if you wanted, you could do it as a boost for Lighted Parade. Yep.
And we're gonna be removing $2,395.
So then,
And we've removed $2,500 for photography.
okay, so are we ready to move on to the
Yep.
SIP magazine? I think the SIP magazine and that has got, that's two-piecer there.
It's $2,100, $2,300, $2,400,
Yeah.
something like that.
They have newsletters and then they have the 2 editions that come out, and that promotes,
The summer ale.
Ale Fest is the 750, and then best of 2 issues. So do we decide those 2, like when we want those issues come out, or when does the best of issue come out? Do you know?
I don't know when it comes out, but they do 2 issues of it. So I would imagine that it's probably like first quarter, May, April or May, and then probably in the fall as well. Because the best of is going to talk about the best. SIP magazine is a with the wine and stuff. So we're going to be promoting that. And then so SIP magazine, beer, wine, that kind of a thing. So that's why it makes sense for the Ale Fest for the dedicated newsletter. And then the print ad, it does not have an online component, but it is circulated to 40,000 people. And so you times that by 2, that's going to give you 80, impression to those 40,000 people twice. So, and that again would be the best of is going to be the destination part of it, where it's going to say, come to Sunnyside, here's what we have, go to the website for more information.
Well, I guess we have to be nitpicky. I don't know, you guys would know better as far as this magazine, and if you think that that's a good way of bringing people to us, or do we just do the Northwest Travel and Life magazine? I mean, we're trying to cut things down. I'm just asking.
So the way that I would look at this is take that amount, $2,350, and divide it by 0.04. So we need to make about $60,000 in lodging sales to justify this ad.
Yeah.
And the question is, do we make $60,000 in lodging sales for people coming to taste wine,
Yeah.
taste beer, that sort of thing? I think we do.
Okay.
I think
Well,
it's
for
an
wine.
asset.
I think we do too, and you get people to come over from Mount Vernon.
But
for-
are we duplicating efforts because of the Yakima Valley Travel Guide? Because I always put
But-
it in that that's where we're getting that value.
Yeah, but I feel like the same people go to
Yes.
Northwest Travel, like the same people with the SIP magazine
Yes.
are the same
But
people.
sometimes, well, they may be. They may be.
If I may, so Northwest Travel and Life is actually a different audience. They are people who are looking for travel opportunities that are around food, adventure, living life to the fullest kind of people. And then SIP magazine is talking about all things that are SIP capable in the Northwest and beyond. So it talks about the wine, the beer, the spirits, and the ciders. So they are going to be different audiences. Same demographics though, people, with a higher income and the ability to pay to travel and immerse themselves.
I think, this is cheap, I think you keep that. And I think we get 60,000,
I-
I think we get more than that.
I think so,
I
and with
think
that,
wine is
and I
number
think with
one
that
tourism
spring,
thing, but
spring and that fall, because those are key times that people come to the valley just for the spring barrel, just for the harvest, so yeah.
I agree. I think it's our number one tourism. I just,
Yeah.
if we're so tight,
Well, I don't
this
know.
is a partially duplicated effort for sure.
I don't know how duplicated it is, but I kind of feel it's not. So are we okay? Do we want to keep that one, the SIP magazine? I kind of think it would be a good value for us.
I think we should.
I mean, that's one of our biggest strengths here in the valley is getting people
Wine and
here,
beer.
wine and beer, and all things connected. All things connected to that. So okay with that one then? So that's, what is that? Okay. And the social media advertisement, is that connected to the SIP magazine or is that something else?
So that is
Definitely.
something else. So what we would do then is through 3 targeted campaigns around the 3 signature events that you guys have. So that's going to be social media advertising that we do on your behalf that's targeted from the data that we collect and the information that we start to glean from Datafy and people's habits and whatnot. Then we'll turn around and we can target to those specific people and say, all right, come here, this is what's going on. And those will be $500, about $500 each, because of course, everything's going up. It used to be a little bit cheaper, but
Mhm.
it's a little bit more
So
this
do you have
year.
any results from the previous ads, from previous
have
years?
what?
On the results from that, social media, the demographics that they give you guys about how many
Yeah,
clicks or anything on them?
so far from Datafy, we looked at, they were able to give us some visitor information from all the way back down into 2018. So out of state unique visitors to date for 2022, where they came over the Cinco de Mayo event, out of state was unique visitors were 24,738. And and then in years past, it was higher, where it was like 59,000, then 67,000 in 2020, 50,000 in 2019. So over Cinco de Mayo weekend, or the event, those were the number of people that were coming through the valley. And then for Sunshine Days, they stayed at least one night. And then for Sunshine Days, roughly similar numbers in the 20,000s, and then 21 and 20 were higher, of course. So with 2018 being the last year, or the longest we could go, was at 44,000. So if you think about it, as you guys increased your marketing and promotion with us, and then of course with 2020 being pretty much a bust and 21 being recovery, those numbers started to go up, but then they drastically went down. So what we want to do is, what these numbers are probably telling us, is that we want, the more you spend on your marketing, the more then you'll see a return on that investment. You gotta spend it so they'll come, kind of a thing. So yeah, over those, pretty good.
So, and the clicks on the, about the parade, the lighted parade, do you have those numbers? Or
We
is
do
that
not
just
have
the
those
total
numbers
number?
yet. We don't have those numbers yet.
Okay.
From
Yeah.
last year, from the last
21.
from 21?
I don't have those. Nope. Jennifer quickly was able to query these, but yeah, we can go back and we can query them for the time over the parade. But yeah.
It'd be good to know if it's, because I know that all these, if we all also do our social media campaigns, and if we need a cut, we just need to figure out where,
Right.
where we cannot.
So my question would be, down in the market,
Mhm.
are there any social media campaigns in your $30,000 marketing management fee?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's just a
Don't you?
website.
That's
That's
just
yeah,
informative.
that $30,000 is primarily the website, and the content that's created for that, and then the content and design for flyers, information for the events, ad creation for putting together the ad campaigns for Northwest Travel and Sit Magazine, and that also includes our time. So Jennifer is going to work with Daniel to create the ads. You guys are going to approve them. We're going to do the insertion orders. We're going to do the invoicing, and then and we pay up front, and then we invoice you. So that time is wrapped up in it as well. But if you commit to the social media ad campaigns for Cinco and Summer Ale Fest and the parade, then the asset creation for those would just be wrapped up in that 30,000. There wouldn't be any additional cost for that.
If you believe social media is effective,
Oh, yeah.
you should keep this.
I think so.
Yeah.
Actually, it is.
Summer Ale Fest isn't a signature event of ours, but it's an important one.
Do we want to make it?
Do we want to
Yeah.
make it a signature event?
I have had a discussion with the Daybreak Rotary that we would need to
I think so. We could invite them. to
make
come.
sure that it, that it's sticking around, and even if they don't want it, are they okay with then someone, city or someone else taking over if they decided not to do it anymore before we make it a signature event? So Okay, so we want to keep the social media then.
Social media. All right, moving on then. Ah, shoot, never mind that.
I'm just gonna confuse you, Stephanie, I'm moving over to the other side.
Okay.
So then, okay, we're gonna keep that, Okay, we're moving down now, the Sunnyside Travel Guide distribution, which is a whole different price. And that's to that 505 locations here in Washington, Oregon, and Idaho.
Mhm.
That's direct.
And that's direct
on us.
impact. So I think that's a gimme.
Yeah,
I think
that is excellent too.
And that goes along with the one below it.
Yeah, so I think that those two are gimmies. I don't think we need to question anything about those two. And we got this video production one coming up here.
Yeah, can you explain that one to me? Because I don't know what that is, the video production. What that was
So the
for,
video,
or
the video production is, it looks like they want to re-edit the Sunnyside video to include Cinco de Mayo and create shorter clips for advertising purposes. So that would be hiring Mayor Media, Digital Vendetta, or some other video editing services to produce and enhance the video library that we have for Sunnyside. Because if I remember correctly, there hasn't been the opportunity yet. I think that's something that each year we try to do to get Cinco, but I think that, with Cinco being canceled earlier this year, that wasn't able to be done. It was canceled last year too, right? Because of COVID.
Yeah.
And I think definitely in 20 it was. So, definitely getting some video footage for Cinco and adding that to your guys' library would be good.
Starting in 2023, okay. So
Yeah.
that's just for Cinco de Mayo, or is that for anything else, or?
Do we already have other clips, like for the parade and?
No, and
the
it's
Ale Fest?
yeah, and that includes creating shorter clips too for advertising purposes.
Oh, okay,
So Cinco de Mayo is a really colorful event.
it is.
Do you have anything on Cinco de Mayo right now?
There's
No, I
probably
think
some
that's
stuff in the
something every year we've tried to do, but with with COVID and then with the unfortunate events earlier this year, we've still not been able to get any video of Cinco.
Do
So
we
we
have
don't-
anything we can give?
No, she hasn't done video, I don't think. I
Mm-mm.
don't think so. Just
Okay.
pictures.
We just have.
Before,
still.
in 2019, she does pictures, but I don't think she's done video because,
Yeah.
it's been since 2019 since she's been able to have.
Right, okay. I'm just, I wanna.
So you get $4,000 to edit video, you have to have video to edit. Unless this is creation of video as well, I would say wait till you have some video.
Well, it's not just Cinco de Mayo, it's the other events too.
Yeah.
What-
Sorry, the details that it should have included the rest of the text that's in the notes on the next column over. Sorry. It's going to be creating the clips, editing everything, and then and then incorporating it into the overall Sunnyside video, which we have right now, which I think is primarily the lighted parade. It might
Alright.
include Summer Ale Fest too.
Was that,
Were you just playing that video?
I just wasn't sure which video it was, so I was wondering if they were talking about that one, but this is just,
Come to,
Yeah.
any videos.
So have you sent videos that you have of the lighted parade to us?
Say that again.
That lady was. Oh,
Oh, okay,
That's what-
that's what, I knew I'd seen something, okay, that was from them.
yeah,
Okay, that was 2019,
and that's the one that has.
and we used that last year.
Okay, that's the one that has the original audio. I don't think that's.
Oh, yeah, we cut around it, yeah.
Okay, all right, so that's, we wanna keep that. Because video, people like videos. All right, so now this area map.
Speaking of maps,
That's part of the go ahead, you were gonna say.
let you know, is this the map that you hand out that shows all the wineries and is that what you're talking about?
It's actually, it's a fold out map that's similar in size to your guys's travel guide. And it folds out in full color. It has, here, I can grab one off my desk here, one second.
Thank you.
I think it might be some out there. I think we need to
So-
designate this as a visitor.
It's the Yakima area map. And it
Yeah,
folds
I've
out.
seen
So
that.
what I'm proposing is I have a panel that's open on here to replace McDonald's if you guys wanted. Union Gap is on here. So that's the paid advertisement of the 1166. And then as a community, we paid the county to get us the GIS mapping from the county. So that the one that's included is where it says Yakima Valley Area Map Featured Community. That's this right here. So that's included. And then when you flip it over, I can't reach it. Arms. And then when you flip it over, there's other advertising on this side of it as well. But it's a fulfillment piece that we put in with all the media kits. Also with information request fulfillments at the Visitor Information Center on that we receive online. We print 5,000 copies each year of that. And so that was just a suggestion if you guys wanted a presence in there, along with Toppenish and Union Gap.
So if you end up reprinting that, do you typically use those all in the year, or do you have leftovers?
No, this
As
one
a
we run out of
fulfillment.
every year. Yep, we run out of it every
Okay.
year. Yep.
If you reprint, you include our ad in it without an additional charge, or would you come back to us and ask for more?
So you're not included in it right now. What I'm proposing is on the next print run in March. That's that 1166. If you wanted to have your panel advertisement on here with Union Gap and Legends and yeah. And that
Okay.
one goes to print in March.
Say as a fulfillment piece that they send to a lot of different people. It's valuable
That's
for us
value.
to be honest,
Value.
but she doesn't have enough of them because she's gonna run out.
Yeah.
Is there a digital aspect to that one that you guys have?
Yes,
that
it's
map?
available online too. Yeah, when you go to our website, and you go to plan your visit, and then you click on travel maps. And so that it's on there with the craft beverage map, the Farm Fresh Fun map, and the sports legend,
Okay.
the sporting map, the map that we have for all the sports venues. So yep, there's a print and a digital version of it. And Tom, when we run out, we run out over Red Wine and Chocolate Weekend. That's when I get rid of all of the leftovers in preparation for the new one to come to us in March.
Oh, cool.
So your fulfillment piece would include Sunnyside in 2023, basically.
Correct.
Anytime after chocolate.
Cool.
All right.
So that would be in advance of Spring Barrel, the Ale Fest, Cinco. Yep.
Okay. Perfect. So yes,
I think so.
Yeah.
yes. Lindsay?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so then in this package right here, there's the Valley Travel Guide, and I think we know that that gets distributed quite a number of places already. We know it's 526 locations. Vancouver, Portland area, the Dalles Hood River. Wow, all kinds of places there. Then
This works for us
I
at the
think
RV
so.
park. How does it work for you, Tom?
You know, it's hard to measure any of these without people walking in and saying, here's why I came. But I believe that the exposure is very helpful. Stephanie, the Valley Travel Guide, that 100,000 print, isn't that also handed out to every convention attendee?
Correct. Yep, we displayed
Yeah.
at the convention center, our visitor information center. We also distribute to visitor points around the area, just in case if anybody happens to come just on a whim and hasn't had a guide yet. So Teapot Dome down in Prosser, we distribute also to the Grapevine Inn, several cases a year for that. I also will take them up to White Pass. We drop them off at the ski area up there. And then we also do what I call modified drops. So what I do, like for next year, definitely, there are visitor points in Texas that we know has been a big tourist draw because Datafy tracked those people and figured out where they were coming from. So we're going to mail cases of guides to those areas because we can't really afford to do a big distribution, you know, of any large quantity to Texas. So we're going to do a couple of cases a year and see how that pans out for us. And then the other 80 or included in that 20,000 as well are all the media kits. So when our media department is putting together visits with different travel writers and whatnot, the travel guide and the map are going to go in, the Yakima area map are going to go in there. And so far this year, some articles that have been written, one of them that was really good for you guys, the Food and Wine magazine with Boris Fishman. So that was, it has 7.8 million unique visitors per month. And we included Cote Bonneville. I mean, he went all over the place. Union Gap, Sunnyside, did a vineyard tour, all kinds of good stuff. And so that media kit included a copy of the guide and the map. And then of course he got links to the digital version of the guide and stuff like that. And so that's going to be a nice big return on our investment there. And then the other 80,000, those are the sort of certified folder distribution locations. So those are the 526, the 287, 228, more than 1,000 locations in Washington, Oregon, and Idaho. And that's included in your guys' ad.
So is that something that we can, when you guys have a proof of it, that we can see though, that part of it?
Yeah, we worked with Jacqueline on that. Yeah, and so your guys' ad, it's an advertorial in that it's more informational with imagery. So we talk about the celebrations, the Ale Fest, the Farm Parade, Cinco, the local love. So hit varietal and snipes, catch the oldest lighted farm implement parade in the nation, the flavors of Cinco, hop country for Ale Fest. And then the Sunnyside 2022 events are in here as well. We didn't put dates, we just put month on there because it's hard to say when everything's going to be done, but there's that with the imagery and then the text. And so then the entire guide is on our website with the clickable links. So on here for cometothesun.com and whatnot. So yeah, that's in there. And then the pictures. So good stuff. And so in that 3,360, that's going to give you the 2 pages. And then we have within the overall advertising sales that I do for the travel guide, that helps to pay for the distribution, uploading it to the website. It includes all the fulfillment in the mail pieces when we get requests for information. So that 3,360 includes all that.
Okay. So Jackie, that when she sends them to you, is that something that we could see, like you could send to us and then we can, I don't know, for if it was, I mean, I like that picture, but I'm saying, for example, if it was a picture that I was like, oh, can we use some, I have this picture
like
that's better
here.
or something like that.
Yeah.
If it is
Yes, you
something
can.
like that.
Yeah. And so once Daniel has an ad proof for Sunnyside, then he'll give it to me. I'll email the entire group at large. But again, I want to stress, checking your emails and, looking at it right away. Yeah. So, because that turnaround is going to be really quick here soon.
Time sensitive. We got to remember that
Yes,
any of these proofs that we look at are all time sensitive. Okay. So that brings us, that changes that 6,532 How much did we reduce off that? Are you keeping track?
It's down to 55,627.05.
Okay.
That's what I'm coming up with.
55 what?
Yeah.
55,627.05. We took out the digital Northwest Travel and Life, and we took out the $2,500 photography.
Okay.
So you've knocked about 10% off of it.
And then at the bottom, in the past, we've taken off the $5,000 for the reserve. I mean, I just remember that's what we voted in the past, so I don't know if you guys have any questions about that, or.
Does that
You wanna
leave us
change
with those, tell us about what an optional, just for my clarification here, optional reserve for media buys. So does that really,
She said that if there's any print companies that don't have enough advertisements, they end up discounting their,
You just scream a good deal.
and so that gives her some money to work with and get us some advertisement in some spots we may have not done.
not done before?
Mm-hmm.
If we're feeling tight, I would agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Cut that.
We might be okay.
Yeah, and
I
if you
think
wanted, there's gonna be probably some savings in the print and the delivery of the Sunnyside Travel Guide, because one of the things that we do, since you've approved it, is paper is out of control. So we are prepaying for all the paper for all of our print needs, and Abbott's is gonna store it. And that way, come January, if there's another 20, so for instance, the reason that we did this, our travel guide, print costs for just ours went up 25%. She gave me a quote in August and it was only good for 30 days. I got another quote in September and it had gone up $2,500. So I said, hey, can we buy paper and will you guys store it? And she said, absolutely. So that's what we will do for the Sunnyside Travel Guide as well. Is we'll buy the paper, Abbott's will store it, and that will save on the print costs there. And delivery might not be as much because I did a 25% increase on delivery to Seattle, Portland, and Boise. Delivery might not be that much, so there'll be some savings there. The other thing is with the optional reserve for the media buys, if you wanted to do the 5,000, come time for something to come up, if you guys are not feeling that your lodging tax dollars are strong enough to support something, you don't have to spend it. But it's there in case there is some smoking deal and some really, really rad publication that comes up and it's like, oh my gosh, we got to get on it. That's what that's there for.
Okay, well, that sounds, buying paper in advance at the lowest price you can get. Of course, you always think it's gonna go down, it never does.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
that's a good deal. So we've kind of got a figure then for the top half. Now, are we working on the travel guide distribution breakdown? Is that a separate number?
No,
It's-
that's
or-
included.
That's
detail.
included. Okay, these are
Yes.
just details.
Just
Okay.
breaking it
Yeah,
down.
but you
That's those
can
details.
strike locations. If you wanted to strike Boise, that'll save you about $1,200.
I think we want Boise.
I think we want
Say,
Boise, yeah.
Yeah.
That's, yeah. I was
And
just
then
gonna
if
ask
you
you
wanted
guys
to-
that, like,
We could
I
also
don't know.
strike locations too. So like in say in Seattle, Portland, and Boise, say you wanted to strike some sites within those areas. I could go back to Shannon at Certified and I can ask her if we can, shave off a few bucks in each of the locations. But this is the optimum. These are all the premium sites within those locations, but she can still strike some locations out or sites out of each location if you wanted. And save a few
do we
bucks.
wanna lower? I didn't think about that. We could lower a little bit just to like,
Say take 2,000 off of it and let them figure out where to do it.
yeah.
Yeah, why don't we do that?
So Stephanie, can you say take $2,000 off that $6,800 budget and we leave it up to you to decide how it's shaved down?
Yeah, what Shannon would do is then she'll just reorganize within each of the, I'll tell her, you guys want to stay at each location. Can we reduce sites? Here's the number. Can you work within it?
Okay.
Let's do that.
So then, yeah, that would give us a budget of 4,861. So then it's still,
Three.
good.
And that 30,
some figure, we don't need.
Yeah, no, we want to keep
There's-
that.
yeah, there's
because
no-
that's all
Yeah, that does,
that was like my one main thing.
yeah, we have to keep
Because I-
that one, because that says all, that's where the work comes in,
That's
that's
it,
the actual work. So what about this optional reserve for media buys? Do we wanna can we maybe can, is there a way for us to maybe only, budget $4,000 or something like that? Is there a way to do that,
Yep.
Stephanie?
Yep. Because that $5,000 is a number to work up to. So as one publication might come at us really good at $1,500, another one might be, $750, or it might be 3,000. But if you say you can work up to this amount, then when those things come available and Jennifer knows it's like, oh, okay, this is going to be a great one for Sunnyside, we'll shoot an email over to you guys to get approval for that and get the ad together and get it all out. So yeah, you could do 3,000, you could do 4,000.
What do you guys think about that?
I don't think we need it, honestly. I think you've got pretty good coverage of what is out there.
Okay,
Yeah, I think it would save us a good chunk, and then,
yeah,
so I guess we'll just go without
we'll
that.
go
then.
with that.
Okay.
We'll pass on that.
Okay, sounds
So
good.
that takes up another 5. So now where are we at?
So with the marketing management fee, it looks, I've got $83,637.05.
I think I'm off by 10, but I'm doing the math in a spotty.
Yeah, I have the
I have
same.
83,627, so it's 83,637?
Yeah, let me do it one more
Yeah.
time and I'll. 300, plus 100,
This
plus
negotiation, good way to.
300, plus 1,500, plus 40.
So you're,
Mm-hmm.
I go. Sorry.
So
Yep,
what do we say?
Okay.
yep, 83,637.05.
That's it.
Mhm.
Never
Okay.
school ads. Right,
Are we good?
I think so.
Peggy?
Mm-hmm.
Julia? So, you need to make a motion? Or can we just be unanimous?
Well, I think we still need to make a motion, though.
Yeah, okay,
I
well,
will
we'll,
make a motion to approve this now reduced budget. Yakima Valley Tree,
83,
83,637.05.
okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. I too vote aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you guys very
going
much for
through
your
this.
time. I have some questions that I'll go back to Jennifer with Northwest Travel and Life magazine. The print version, or I'm sorry, the digital version doesn't include live links. I'll ask her if we can do the September, October issue for the lighted parade. And also if we are doing our own campaign for Yakima Valley Tourism in Northwest Travel and Life, and can we complement each other? I'll come back with that answer
Right.
to you as well.
Good, awesome,
Very good.
very
Thank you
good.
guys very much.
Thank you so much. We're very happy with this one, I believe.
Stephanie, I have one comment before you sign off.
Sure.
You made a comment about Texas and Michigan being popular source destinations for travelers to this area. And I would share that we found that Texas was a popular source destination. But what we found when we dug into it was there were a lot of truck drivers.
A lot of
Because
people
the
were-
truck drivers do a circuit of citrus and palm fruit back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I don't know if you have any visibility into your data, but I would be curious if you would share that with me.
Yeah, I'll ask Jennifer who the people that are going. I think that the way that the parameter is set though are the people, specifically the parameters include their interest though. So are they going to the restaurants? Are they going beer and wine tasting? And are they immersing themselves in the activities around the valley, like going to museums, other visitor key points and things like that? So with those parameters in place, I doubt that they're going to be truck drivers because they're typically not going to do that, but I'll verify that.
So you're
No.
saying it's a both and,
Could be.
both you're here and you're doing things,
Yep.
not just you're here.
Yep, not just that you're
Okay.
coming through. Because we can check, we could watch them through their spending habits. Or Datafy can anyway, so,
All right.
all right.
Any other questions for Stephanie right now? Okay. Thank you very much, Stephanie. Thanks for
Thank
working
you.
with us on this. We're gonna have a good package for this 23, and
Excited.
it's gonna be exciting.
It
Gonna be
is.
exciting. All right.
Thank you guys very much.
All
Everybody
right.
have a good weekend.
Hey, you as well.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So we want to go through 509 Sanity real quick. I can do that. That's about
Okay.
it.
Okay. Well, we have to.
You guys want to figure out what to do with the ale fence before you finalize the policy? And I can go through that, what you, the insanity first and then. we can-
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 requests. I don't know why they
But-
couldn't just put it all in one.
Because they can't, because we don't, it's in rules, they can't.
Okay. Because otherwise, you know, because it all comes out to about $1,100 what they're asking.
Yeah, because they're all different events, and it
Yeah.
says right on there that.
If it's a different events, we have to,
Yeah.
okay. So my biggest question is, did they come up with
Yep.
budgets for each
That's
one?
my,
So they did, and I emailed them to you guys. We did the list.
Yeah, maybe I didn't see them, but I'm so sorry.
yeah, I was gonna say,
I don't even.
yeah.
Oh, here it is.
I'm sorry, you sent me an email, I forgot to read it, or didn't see it, and didn't read it. That's on me.
Was it our city email though? Okay.
Let's see, let me look at these.
Because I remember seeing something.
Well, I remember the one on the tourism, from
Oh,
the
yeah.
Alcohol tourism, but I don't remember the insanity.
I don't think it was. I think it was our main one.
If you sent me an email, it's quite possible I got it, but I can guarantee you I don't get through all of my emails in a day.
Sure.
And the new ones come in.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up with them. I do a lot of deleting to get to the ones I want,
And even then,
and even then I miss things. Like I missed the whole thing, well, about, anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's all worked out.
if somebody, it's really important, it'll come back.
It'll come back, yeah.
Okay, yeah, now I do remember seeing it, but I still have a question. I'm just trying to remember what it was.
Well, if we can pull it up on the screen, I think that'll be,
Yeah,
because Jackie's a wizard, I can't.
okay, yeah.
As far as the, guys, since, Lindsay needs to go and that'll kind of mess up our form.
Well, you'll have
Yeah, you still have one.
I'm here now.
I'm gonna have this detail at 11, so.
Yeah.
We're at almost
10:30.
10:30 right now, aren't we?
Yeah.
my question.
Boy, I guess. Okay. Oh, that's my fault.
I think the question I had was that it was okay, so the Hardwood Classic was funded in 2019, and that's what I wasn't seeing is that when we have approved before, it does ask in there, just show us what that event, you know, what the budget from that, what it did and brought in, and that was what I wasn't seeing. But I do appreciate that they did give us
They met.
the revenue and everything, so we did get that part.
How did they
Did
do?
you see the date on that email?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Right.
If I could
I don't know why.
help you out there. September 28th?
Man. September 28th, my birthday week, and I didn't remember anything that week.
If this is a typical AAU,
Mm-hmm.
they generate significant revenues.
They can, yeah.
Yeah, they can.
They can, definitely.
Question really becomes how many out-of-town people come to these? Does the overnight stay justify $6,000?
That's kind of the question, and I don't even think they could even answer it but that's why I was kind of hoping we would get more information from the Hardwood Classic.
Because that's
So
when they
that we
held
could,
before.
yeah,
Well, I can answer in
Yeah.
gross.
okay.
Because what we can do is we can say, all right, they've asked for they got 4 different asks, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
And if they take the minimum, which is $11,000,
Mhm.
just do it this way. 0.04, so that's $275,000 in hotel revenue to generate that kind of lodging tax. Okay, if I take a $125 room rate, that's 2,200 room nights. How many events? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's divide by 4.
Okay.
That's 550 room nights per event. If the
Yeah.
events are 2 nights apiece, divided by 2, that's 275 room nights. We don't have 275 rooms in
Yeah.
Sunnyside.
Yeah.
Because
So there's no way.
it can't cover it. So my suggestion would be, if we think that they bring people in, and AU does,
Mhm.
reduce the amount to something that at least is possible.
Well, it
I think this is what he's saying.
looks like 55. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. 5,500 per event is what they're estimating they can bring in, but you guys can look at it.
Okay, so $5,500. Now, they have costs too.
Yeah, and that's what I,
Do they pay for
And
their
this-
referees?
yeah.
And these are anticipated revenues. It doesn't say what they're.
He also, in that email, he sent his, tax thing.
Taxes and stuff.
This is insurance, and this is taxes.
Does he use the local gymnasiums?
Yeah.
So does he have to pay to
Yeah.
rent them?
Yeah, so there's an expense there. I have no idea what that is per gym. Or,
I thought he did have that in there, from the last meeting, from the tax bill.
I suggest, just out of expediency, we
Yeah.
cut to the chase and
Yeah.
say, let's offer them $1,000 for each of the 3,
Okay,
and then $2,500 for the Harvard Classic. So we would be looking at $5,500 rather than whatever the.
11.
For.
yeah. That's too many zeros.
So 1,000 for the first 3?
yeah. And then 2,500 for the 509 Hardwood Classic.
It's still, I mean, it's $137,500 in revenue,
Uh-huh,
but that's a little bit more achievable.
yeah.
Divided by 4, that's $34,000 in revenue per tournament. We divide that by 125, it's 275 room nights per tournament. We've got 82, I don't even know what it's called now. Quality Inn, Fairview maybe,
Yeah, that
on
one.
the other side.
Yeah.
I think they've got 60. So there's 142 room nights available. And then Old Vendel, what's it called now? Right,
Oh, golly, I just drove by there the other day, I forgot.
Oh.
but they've
One
got,
by, the LIA got one there,
yeah,
that's what you mean?
they've got another 80 there.
They might have an 8.
So you approximate, you could theoretically sell them all out doing this. I think it's still a stretch, but I would like to encourage them.
Yeah.
They're doing something.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
trying to do something.
So that makes sense to me.
I would, no, I don't have it in front, but the dates that they were giving though, like, and I might have it in the notes from the last time, but I think a suggestion though, when they come back, if there's any way that we can do that, is that they keep good track this time when they have these events of
Some sort of
more of what,
recommendation.
yeah, that would be helpful for next time,
The dates that
next year. Okay.
provided.
Because there was one that we were talking with Amy in Sunshine Days, that it'd be a good idea and be easier to advertise it and everything if they, I think the one in August or something, if they would combine it with Sunshine Days. I think that was in my notes that we were discussing,
Yeah.
because we were thinking about how to make one of our weekends a busier, a bigger weekend and add another event to it, and then
Mhm.
could also help them out as far as, I think, Sunshine Days, because the gyms are available at that time. And so if there's any way that we could recommend that, it would be a good idea. And definitely keep really good track and let us know.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I will say this.
I would encourage them to do that, absolutely.
At start.
Yeah.
But if both grow, you're gonna
Well,
wanna separate them down the road.
Yeah, but I just had it in my, because Amy was saying the same thing, that she wanted to add some kind of sporting event, and so that was her that was something that she was saying would be nice. They had talked about volleyball tournament too at one point, but then when this came up, she thought maybe it would help, because then it would bring people in and then they need something to do. And so
They gotta
she
go
had
take a break
activities
for lunch and they're
down,
still down.
yeah, she had something. It was just, yeah, and I think that,
And that one in August would make the most sense if they
I
could
mean,
move it
not-
to
yeah, not forcing them to, but it was just an idea that,
suggestion.
it's just a suggestion, yeah. So. That was it. So we just need to,
I haven't seen a current RFP in a while, but does the RFP have the question on there on how they've done in the past, or does it not?
Yeah, it does.
It does, because
if we've approved in
if
the
we've
past,
approved it in the past.
you're supposed to show us, and
Yeah.
that was,
Submit a report.
you're supposed to submit a report, and I feel like,
We talked about that, making sure when we get these RFPs and making sure they're complete, because this
Yeah.
didn't have anything when it came to us.
and that's kind of my problem with the Hardwood Classic, is that I still didn't see a report of how they did in 2019, and so, but like you said, I don't want to discourage them from doing these, so I don't want to, I mean, I think we've kind of made exceptions in the, one time, and just make sure next time.
They did answer them. They did.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it was just the financials, like the budget.
Yeah,
and
that's
everything, that we didn't, like, exactly what you spent, exactly, just. Because I know it takes a bit, because I have to do the same, I kind of do it at the time, I make a report.
It's a number of days too.
I do,
Well, I could do better than that.
Two.
2 referees days.
Yep, that's probably what it was the referee.
And I think those are the ones that he specifically paid for, because he submitted a reimbursement request for 2 hotel rooms. So maybe he just,
He doesn't quite get the,
I
yeah,
don't know how he does it, but
yeah.
anyhow, okay, so what are we thinking? Should we put an addendum when we make the recommendation to them with, sending the recommendation obviously to the city council now, but, with the explanations and all that good stuff. But I think, we want to encourage them. We do think that they could, but why are we making this particular amount change? Do we have to dignify that? We don't have to explain, okay. All right, but we do want some things from them next time they should want to, and that would be, okay.
then ask them to combine one of their events with Sunshine Days.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
one thing. And then
And
also,
Financials.
we want to have a clear picture of their financials, so we know how they're growing,
Mm-hmm.
in case they come back and want more money. And I imagine they're going to. And what was the other thing? They have to give a report, so that's already. Yeah, all right. So are we in agreement that we will allow them $5,500 then for their 4 projects?
Okay.
Okay, is there a motion?
I would move that we recommend funding in the level of $5,500 to this group for the 4 events that they have requested funding for.
And is there a second?
A second.
Any other debate? Any debate? As hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Ayes have it. I too vote aye.
Congratulations. Very happy for you. Exciting.
All righty. Okay. We're getting the full money out of this.
Yeah.
We're getting the full taco, what is it, the full meal deal? That's it. Full meal deal. All right, do we want to hold off on, because we have kind of some people need to leave here. The policy, we have the strategic vision. We have that here with us today, areas of emphasis, areas, action items. Thanks, Lindsay, and funding policy. Do we want to go ahead and go over those? I'm asking, and the tourism development priorities. Do you want to go?
We have about
15,
10 minutes.
10 minutes?
15
It
minutes.
doesn't seem like that seems like enough time.
So to just dig into it, I think.
Yeah.
But when's the next time we can meet?
Well,
January.
Yeah, next year.
But that might work. Some of this stuff is visionary and
Yeah.
it might work,
so
so.
if we, one of the things we already talked about is, do we want to add the Ale Fest? Do we need to ask the Rotary if they want to be a signature event? Because we're advertising it.
Yes. In my opinion.
We have to ask them if they want to
Yes.
be one. And so,
I'll reach out to them and
okay,
see what they say, if it's, and
Okay.
then put in here the day that they decide not to, then the city would take over and continue to do it this way, where
we could do it through.
proposals.
Yeah. Right now, they're doing pretty well on their own, but we do want to be able to advertise it because it is a huge event in June. And if you've been down there, you know that the streets are loaded, and so is the little park there. Yeah, there too. One of the other things too, that I don't know if it's going to become a signature event or not, but I know that there's been some talk about the roller skates, the skateboarders park, the bowl down there, that there's going to be some tournaments coming. The other thing that we know about too is that the swim teams championships, and we already donated, or not donated, but certainly
Set aside money for them.
set aside money for that Mid-Valley swim champions. But I think with the, I don't know if there's going to be, and we'll have to wait and see. I mean, if they come to us and they want some help to advertise it, then they need to, I'm talking about the skateboard park now.
Mm-hmm.
But I've heard a lot more interest in having some sort of tournaments down here, or whatever contest or whatever exhibitions or stuff like that. We've had a lot of people in the valley in the last several months taking a look at it. And so that's kind of exciting.
Come break a bone and send that.
Yeah.
Is that part of the
I'm just looking at
insanity?
Yeah, there's
Oh,
no
here.
numbers on this. Is there
Here's some, the rest of it, I
a
think.
sheet that actually has revenue
I don't
figures?
know.
There's a bunch of zeros.
All this is this one here is just anticipated revenue, and the other side's whatever that is.
They just report nothing.
Yeah, you report
Our
it.
program budget is $200 per event. We don't have any sponsorships or donors. Call us if you have any questions. We've been doing that.
Yeah, if they're able to operate out of the cigar box,
Well, I
that's how they're doing it. It's
I
all
guess that
cash
must be
deal.
it,
Nobody is
yeah.
reporting anything.
Okay. So I think that if we want to meet again in January, and in the meantime, let's kind of look these over. We don't have to, some action items. I think, part of our job, I don't know if it is, to encourage these groups to, maybe like we did with, suggested to the Circle of Cause, and make that more of a cowboy event, and giving things for kids to do and stuff. I don't know if they do or not. I don't think they do, but areas of emphasis,
I have
Any-
to Connie.
Hmm?
Oh, go ahead.
Just any event that we have should have something that, I don't want to say forces, but encourages people to spend the night.
Yeah.
That's the name of
That's
the
the name of the game. Anything we can, encourage them to spend the night.
I apologize for being late this morning.
We thought you were coming, so we were anticipating your arrival.
12:04. I hate it. They start there.
I want to thank Peggy for making extra effort to get down here, because I know that's a bit of a pain for her.
Literally.
Seriously, a pain. So let's put these on our January agenda. If we have anything, when you look at these and you have anything else to add to them, or want to further spell it out, some of these issues, let's plan on that. Do we want to meet early in January, or do you want to meet mid-January? This time of the month is good, January.
Let's just put something on the calendar.
Okay, let's do that right now then. find my phone. That's where my calendar apparently is today. I have to bring that on.
Here, I'll put the calendar. Oh, yeah, you guys look at yours.
Ding. Let's see, today is the 20th. We could meet, let's meet at is later in the morning, a little bit better, although for Lindsay,
Yeah, but she now works from 9 to 1, so I'm thinking, she said today she'd take off work, but I'm thinking from now on, she won't be available until 1:30.
1:30, 2 o'clock.
And I think the closer to 1:30, the better, because she wants to be able to pick up her kids from school. Am I right in
She's
that?
in Villa. Yeah.
So,
And that's probably the same for Amy as well. Her kids probably get out of school around 2:30, 3 o'clock.
so maybe set it for like even 1:15.
1:15, okay.
Yeah,
So 1:15 on the 25th, is that?
Do we want to do it on a Wednesday or is
Wednesday's fun with me.
how about you, Mr.?
For now, it is. Sometimes I am out of town on Wednesdays, but
We can move it. Wednesdays are horrible for me, but.
I'm thinking the same.
No,
I'm
it's
thinking
it's fine, it's fine.
They're kind of different.
They're only horrible because I do public records requests on Wednesdays.
Oh.
So
1:15.
1:15 on January 25th.
Do you have a location?
You guys want to meet here or where? I don't know. The fire station, city hall, whatever you guys want.
I think I wanted to reach out and go to other places,
Oh,
didn't we?
Do you guys want to do the museum next?
Yeah.
Kind of cold, I think, in January.
Oh,
I think
let's not
that's
go
good.
anywhere too cold.
And I think they turn the heat over something.
I'll check, and if not, then I'll tell you guys.
If we can't go to the museum,
A bank or something like that, or there, with rooms. Just try to reach out to the community.
Mm-hmm. I'll figure.
okay. So we'll
Sorry.
have location TBA. And, what time we say?
1:15.
This, I forgot. Oh, here it is. I'll just leave that open. All right, add. There we go. All right, good. So if there's anything further, anything interesting that's going on that we want to keep our eye on, events happening in our neighborhoods? You notice that this month in October, and they're not necessarily LTAC kinds of events, but there certainly seems to be a lot of Halloween stuff happening this month. Fall festivals, there's one here next Saturday or Friday? Next Friday.
Next Friday, and then there's downtown.
Downtown.
That trunk or treat.
Trunk or treat.
And then it looks like they just added a Dia de los Muertos,
Ooh.
Day of the Dead here.
In the
They're gonna
community
do.
center?
They're gonna do it out there.
Oh.
In our strategic vision, we celebrated the fact that Sunnyside has the largest per capita Hispanic population in the state,
Mhm.
and you could bring all of those traditional events to the forefront.
Yeah.
And make hay out of them.
I know.
I know. It'd be
I
really
saw one for
wonderful.
Moses Lake, an advertisement, and I'm like, ooh, I'm going. So I'll be in Moses Lake on the 29th.
Tell us what it's about.
I know.
Tell us what it's all about. Take pictures.
Yeah, I guess it's a big Dia de los Muertos festival. They have dances. They have.
Costumes.
I would
They
love
have.
to see
I think they have
something.
like 3 different stages for, and they have 3 different community altares, so altars. So
Uh-huh.
it may be big. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, you'll see and let us know.
Can we ask for somebody from the VFW to come to that meeting? And I don't know if it's gonna be Greg, I don't know if it's Jim Mastucci, I don't know who it is, I don't know if it's his wife, January, because we have I think it's partially finished, if they think it's completely finished, whatever.
Good.
We have the monuments on.
Our Gary Taylor Veterans Plaza.
Yeah, and what we need to do is we need to make something out of those.
You know, the other thing too, just on that same note, the statues we have here in town. the bronze statues. We need to celebrate those a little bit more.
Are those, military veteran type
Well,
statues, or
you've got, what it really is you've got the dairy industry, you've got the cattle industry, the founding of the town, you've got an astronaut, you go all the way there, you have the coming of water to the valley. Are there five, just five? I think there's talk of another one, possibly. But they're here, and we could make that a part of a tour. You know, they need to be on that map, whatever that map is, in Sunnyside. We maybe have to, you know, the town may have to develop that, but I think we certainly ought to celebrate it. We have a Heroes Walk, just on that handrail park down where the electric charging stations are. Do we advertise those in our?
Yeah, they'll add them to the Come to the Sun page.
Yeah, and then maybe the bronze statues as well. We could do that there.
Elizabeth is a little bit more open about, like advertising, like she wants us to advertise a Grandview event. The previous city managers said, no, if it's not a Sunnyside event, we're not posting it on our Facebook page because
Oh,
we don't know.
I think that there's
So that she's more
what's
open.
that word? Reciprocity?
Reciprocation.
No,
Reciprocity.
Reciprocity.
Mhm.
If we advertise theirs and they advertise ours, we're small enough and we're close enough that we could be, I like the idea
So
of
the run-
doing that.
Me too, because the run that they're doing, normally we wouldn't advertise because it's not an event or anybody that we know, like, you know. So I think we will advertise that one.
And just like with the thing here with the altars, the day of the,
To go back to day-long, overnight type event,
yeah.
if you have Dia de los Muertos,
Mhm.
that is something that, if it's a long enough day, people would come spend the night, but they probably come the night before.
Yeah.
If you have, with the Jerry Taylor Park, if you do a 9/11, you do a Veterans Day, you do a Pearl Harbor Day, there are all these events you can do some kind of a ceremony around. And you can make them pretty interesting because the Oregon National Guard flies. You could get them to fly over during the event. Have you ever seen
There was
the jets
one-
down there?
But one time during a 4th of July event, and it's been probably 15 years ago now, we got somebody to fly over our parade. We did a parade for 4th of July.
You
I'd
could-
love to do that again.
Four of them to fly over in formation. You could
Yeah.
get one of them to peel off and buzz the town and it would shake everybody's windows.
We have
So
a
cool.
breakfast in town early enough in the morning so that they will come the night before and stay in a hotel. You know, talk about the strategic planning. you know,
Well,
Yeah,
make sure-
exactly.
And there are veterans who come to these events. A
Oh,
lot of them on their motorcycles.
yeah.
Which is
I
like-
saw one of those
At police
last year in
officers.
September down at the Veterans at Stonehenge. They had a big
Mhm.
one, and there were just hundreds of motorcyclists. And I stuck around for it. I had come camping from down at the Mary Hill Park.
If they do it properly, it'll choke you up.
It was really an awesome event, and the guys came over, because I just was parking in my car, in my van, and I was watching it, and I thought, this is incredible.
And get the whole community involved, like everybody go, you know, out to the main road and stand at a certain time in honor of memory. I mean, you can make this really.
You could make it, when the motorcycle guys come in and just make it a parade,
Uh-huh.
and they're coming down to see that, and at the VFW would do breakfast or some sort of a thing like that. That would be awesome for them too.
Because we have an asset that no one else has.
Mm-hmm.
That's that Jerry Taylor
Memorial.
Absolutely.
You have to go to Washington DC to see any kind of a mini Vietnam War memorial.
Yeah.
And that's a long way away.
Yeah.
If we continue to develop that, because it's an asset that a lot of money has gone into, no one's ever gonna catch up to us unless some big city wants to get into the act.
But there really is. It was groundbreaker, and it was a hard thing to sell. But its momentum has grown, and I just worry about Craig
But this,
keeping it up.
well, that's where you've gotta have somebody from VFW. Is this something you
Mhm.
guys can embrace? Because you need a local champion to make it happen.
Mhm.
It can't be us. We can provide the seeds, we can provide the funds,
Mhm.
but
But we gotta, that's right, we gotta encourage them to say, hey, look, if you organize it, people will come, and we will help to support you. Okay. Okay, guys, I think that there's nothing else. We can call ourselves adjourned at, what time is it?
10:15.
Oh, it's right on the dot. Well, thank you, guys, and I really